Mario Tennis fever has arrived. Everyone is talking about the story mode, the price, the online, but I'm here to cover what really matters. The part the gamers cry out for. What Donkey Kong references does this game make?
Okay.
Let's start with the roster of characters.
The Big Ape is back, making his 9th consecutive appearance on the base roster. We see a detailed stat sheet that DK is fast and powerful, but in his blurb we also get a curious look at how Nintendo wants to define him going forward. They describe him as cheerful and mighty in equal measure. We've seen this slight personality adjustment with the release of Bonanza. I say slight because DK has always been a character with a goofy side, even during his 90s cool era.
Cool.
But I'm smelling more whimsy since the redesign hit. The cool factor is still front and center, but I think this redesign really highlights his equally charming cheeky side. I'm probably reading too much into this, but I find it intriguing that they're leading with the word cheerful to describe him, especially considering most of the character blurbs just talk about how they play tennis. Curiously enough, Shigeru Miyamoto is listed as a supervisor on this title, and these days he's a lot more hands-on with theme parks and movies than he is with game development. Speaking of that redesign, this is the second Mario spin-off we're seeing him in. It's interesting how different he looks from game to game depending on the resources available to render his fur and the time given to his animation. When you select him, he hits that frequently used pose from Donkey Kong Country Returns. They've used this render for a ton of promotion. They even made a giant statue of it I saw at the Nintendo store in New York back in like 2014. While most of the cast of Mario Tennis have their animations carried over from past games, they really focused on cleaning them up for DK. The way he slams down on the ground is executed with perfection. It feels like it was plucked right out of Country Returns, and it's one of the strongest entrance animations of the game. The way he celebrates when he scores a point or wins a game feels like they nailed the assignment. Even in these brief victory or loss animations, they highlight the vibe shift that DK has taken this year. I'm not sure if there was some sort of directive from Nintendo to make sure that DK looked really good here, but it sure does feel like he got the red carpet treatment, at least compared to the rest of the cast.
We didn't need any more confirmation that DK is so back, but we'll take it.
Let's move to Pauline. She's in the much larger bucket of characters that had very light touch-ups in between games. Considering she was such a late addition to Aces, that's fair enough. Now that I think of it, Pauline went on her own Donkey Kong-like glow-up from Odyssey onward. I just never paid too much attention to it because she was always buried so deep in the DLC packs in every Switch sports game. They have done a good job at giving her this stylish, glitz and glam sort of personality, and they carry that forward here. You can see it in her emblem, which is carried over from Aces depicting a big smooch with bright red lipstick in the shape of a heart. It's a little extra, but you know, it's stylish, respectable, authoritative. She's described as being known for astonishing speed and poise. She can even reach the most difficult returns.
I didn't know she was that fast, but now we do.
This might be a stretch, but when you select her, it seems like she hits a similar pose as Kid Pauline does in Bonanza. Speaking of fast, Diddy has broken out of DLC jail, joining the roster as an unlockable character. 10 matches of tennis brings little buddy onto the court, and much like DK, his new look breathes new life into his character. This is the first playable appearance of Diddy 3.0, and he's looking pretty lively. When you hover over his character icon, he stands in the pose that he's been hitting since Mario Party DS. They've used this in renders for a bunch of different games and general promotional material. It's even the first look we got at his redesign last year. His character select pose is very similar to his Smash 4 render. When he scores a point, he does a little brawl down taunt. When he loses a point, he scratches his head in a similar fashion as his DKC idle animation. While they're off to the races experimenting with DK, they're playing pretty close to home with Diddy. There's a lot of leveraging what has worked for the character before, but it feels new thanks to this redesign. I wonder if they could have pulled off this appearance on the original Switch. The textured look of the Kong's fur is done really well here. There's a tangible sense of joy with these characters in this entry, and it's got me excited for what we might see in future DK games. The hook of this game in the Mario Tennis lineage is the fever system. Rackets carry traps or buffs to swing a match in your favor. There are a ton of wacky Mario things like mini mushrooms, fireballs, and Mario Sunshine goop, but there is one singular racket to represent the Kongs.
Can you guess what it is?
It's bananas. It's dumb, it's pedestrian, and I love it. It's one of the 2 rackets in the game that don't even look like tennis rackets. It's a banana bunch on a stick.
With a stick.
For monkeys. Brilliant. It's unlocked by playing 16 tennis matches, so you'll get it soon after unlocking Diddy if you're trying to banana max like me. As soon as I unlocked the racket, I stuck to it, trying to figure out how to maximize its effect. As you might imagine, it drops a bunch of banana peels on the ground that rob health as well as incapacitate. It really gives you a lot of control of the court, so long as you make sure that the ball lands. Like all the trap fever shots, it can be lobbed back to your side of the court if you're not careful. Even during the power struggle, a few bananas will pop out with every volley, making it a very chaotic fever shot. Once Once the peels are set, doing a lob or drop shot into that pile is hilarious. I also love this new DK render they have with him wielding the banana racket. Only 11 characters got one of these super detailed art pieces, and our boy is one of them. Add it to the bin of sick new DK renders. We're getting spoiled over here. As far as quartz go, we have a Donkey Kong brand advertising in multiple stages. This time around, DK is promoting his 100% banana protein bar. You can see the banners for it in the Academy courts and the Waluigi's pinball stage. This drawing of DK dates back to 2011, but they changed it to this current version in 2024. The last little tidbit is the tennis ball. If you scan a Donkey Kong amiibo, you can change the ball to this design. Yep. This might be the most phoned-in amiibo support to date, but we'll take it.
That covers all the general stuff. Now let's move on to the story mode. I put this at the end of the video in case anyone wants to avoid spoilers. Not that there's a whole lot to spoil about the story mode of a Mario Tennis game, but if you want to witness that for yourself, click off now and go watch my predictions video.
Princess Daisy is sick, and it's up to the Mario crew to go to the Tree of Might before Turles does, so they can get it back to the princess and heal her. Donkey Kong is along for the ride, lowering the crew down into a cave to inspect the tree. He really has this moment here. It's cool to see him in a pre-rendered cutscene with his new look. He yoinks the Mario crew back up to the cliff as they get turned into babies. What's interesting about this decision is to not let DK get hit with the baby ray. No baby Donkey Kong here. I would guess that putting him in this game would distract a bit from the excitement of having DK's new design, but also, at this point I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw him again. I will say though, baby Dr. Wario was never on my bingo card, so anything is possible, I suppose. Keep the dream alive, baby Donkey Kong fans. From the trailer of the game, I assumed DK was going to fill the role of surrogate dad again, but he drops the babies off at tennis school and then dips like he's going to get a gallon of milk. Once you graduate tennis school, they mention Donkey Kong won't be joining the adventure. I pressed on just to see if there would be any more to the story mode, and honestly I have to say that it gets pretty fun after the tennis training arc. That initial slog is rough, but I enjoyed all the wacky bosses and challenges. It's not revolutionary or anything, but it was a fun diversion from the normal tennis modes, even if DK's involvement was minimal. There was some disappointment in there as I was really excited about the premise of DK globetrotting with a daycare's worth of babies hanging on his back. I thought that'd be hilarious, but that's more of a problem with my expectations rather than what the game is. I pressed on, and I was surprised and delighted to see DK burst into the story in the ice runes anyway. He's the second character to join the party. Immediately you're teaming up with the leader of the bunch to dispatch the weird fish from New Super Mario Bros. You know the one. He goes The computer is well implemented here. DK feels like a part of the team, and he comes through. Oh, DK! From there, he's one of many characters along for the ride, but it's nice to see more of him. It definitely whets the appetite for some sort of Donkey Kong RPG or a Mario and Luigi DK crossover game. It was nice to see a spotlight shown on Daisy too. The last few bosses are a good time. They can destroy Baby Mario's partners in one hit, losing Donkey Kong, and I'll tell you, losing Donkey Kong hurt, man. Donkey Kong! Anyway, the normal sort of Mario shenanigans ensue, and oops, they forgot to put DK in the pre-rendered cutscene that ends the game. Everybody else was there. So the story ends, the credits roll, and then I'm seeing the voice actors.
Shout out to everyone who dunked on me in the comments of my last video. I can cross embarrassing myself in front of thousands of people off my bucket list.
I now know that the Mario Kart World credits were in alphabetical order for the voice actors, so I assumed they would be the same for Fever's voice actor credits. That's not the case here though. Like Bonanza, the order is based on the content of the game rather than the names of the actors. Unlike Bonanza, they don't tell us who is voicing who. We start with Afghani, who voices Mario and Luigi, the first two slots in the character roster. That's followed by Courtney Lynn, Giselle Fernandez, Laura Faye Smith, and Kate Higgins to fill out the first row of the character select. Kevin voices Wario and Waluigi as well, so the next credited actor is Lila Berzins as Toad. Laura Stahl follows as Toadette, and so on. The only inconsistency with this flow is that they seem to either forget or neglect to credit voice actors for Kamek, Boo, Boom Boom, Luma, and Petey Piranha. They could also have recast them, but it sounds like the same voice as previously used.
A little strange, but Nintendo's crediting practices are a little strange in general, aren't they? So why do I bring this up? Well, I noticed Yu Hayashi in the credits again.
Yet again, the voice actor for Void Kong has appeared in a Mario spin-off. Could Void be making an appearance in Mario Tennis? Looking into his work further, Hayashi also worked on Princess Peach Showtime along with K. Rool's voice actor. It's not clear which characters they played, but it's interesting nonetheless. This could totally be a misunderstanding, but also it did happen before. When Mario Strikers Battle League launched, they listed Nate Bildorf, the voice of Shy Guy, in the credits of the base game, which led to fan speculation that he was going to be playable in the game at some point. That turned out to be true, as he was later announced to be the first downloadable character. On the other hand, the rest of the DLC characters were added with no sort of update to the credits.
So it could go either way. In any case, it's always fun to speculate and learn more about the people who bring these characters to life.
If they do Kong DLC, it would be hilarious to see Void running around in his ornate robe or riding in his little Frieza ship. K. Rool would be great too. Give him a Banandia mush racket. All that being said though, this game came out without the talk of ongoing DLC, which makes me wonder if Nintendo is done with that strategy with Mario Sports. It remains to be seen. The question also lingers: how much Donkey Kong are they going to have in their Mario games going forward? Having 3 characters and 1 racket makes me think that they're content to just sprinkle a little bit of Kong-ten into these games, so they leave the door cracked open for DK to have his own spin-offs. I'm interested to see if there's any fire under the smoke of the Kong stuff in Mario Kart World, or whether Diddy will remain banished in Mario Party. Mario Tennis Fever is expensive, as you may well have heard, but it's a fun time. I've been having some good games with the Donkey Pals, and as a DK fan, there's a lot to appreciate about how they handled the characters so close to the debut of their new look. Even after a year of this design, the new car smell has not yet worn off, and it's been a blast to see him refreshed in these Mario spin-offs. If they ever add Monkey DLC to the game, we'll be among the first to cover it, but until then, that's every Donkey Kong reference I could find in Mario Tennis Fever.